All right. Joe here with Joe's Disc Golf Podcast, and I am finally live. And sorry if my voice sounds a little bit off here. I've been talking all morning, giving a few other presentations for my other job. So, voice is all warmed up, beyond warm, and now it's starting to push that little raspy bit. So, hopefully, you guys will tolerate everything. Hope you all survived Snowpocalypse 3 Revenge of the Snow Monster, because we just got a foot of snow overnight, and it does not look like I'm going to be getting out anytime soon to go ahead and disc golf. But, that's just the way it goes. Still trying to work on my putting, still trying to do all these other things, just going out having a fun time. Hope you guys are all surviving, doing well, having a grand old time out there. I know you can layer up and get out there, but we've got something like 18 inches of snow out there. And it's not so much the cold I'm as worried about as the fact that I will definitely lose a frisbee, and I cannot stand to part ways with any of them, including my sweet looking stiletto. Very old. Not very old. Very well used. It's definitely my meat hook. I am going to talk about this disc a little bit later in the broadcast here. But we've got a bunch of different things to talk about, including the registration for the U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship. We're also going to talk about the PDGA opening, updating some of the profile stuff, some newly approved discs, some newly approved targets, actually only one. As I mentioned, talk about the stiletto and a new number one on the men's side. Who could that possibly be? On the women's side, it is, big surprise here, Paige Pierce. Big surprise. No one saw it coming. Up and comer young whippersnapper there, barely known. Nobody knows who that is. I don't know who that is. Never heard of her before. Really out of nowhere, out of left field. Real Cinderella story here. Just really coming out of nowhere. Just your former groundskeeper Cinderella story here. Just, oh, he got a hold of that one. But I digress. Back. We are here to talk about our first story, and that is the registration for the Women's 2021 United States Women's Disc Golf Championship has already opened. 6 p.m. Pacific time, February 15th. It is the 16th. We are a day late and $1 short, and the wrong gender, and not good enough. So I can't play there. Plus, it's also in California, which is really long. That's a really long way to go for me to play disc golf. The farthest I go is like 2 hours driving. And I'm also a boy, so I can't play in the women's. But it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It is going to be so much fun to watch that. This will be the second majors event, and that is followed by the college national championship that will be a couple weeks before. The event will be May 21st through the 23rd, held in Sacramento, California, at 3 beautiful courses out there. 3 absolutely stunningly gorgeous courses out there. Shady Oaks Park, Rockland Disc Golf Course, and Auburn Regional Park. Should be a great time to watch these women's shred up those courses. I can't wait. I'm itching to see more and more coverage of disc golf. There's been a drought. I don't know what to do. I just watched the Shady Love Stings with Paul Ulibarri C tier out at Hornet's Nest. That's why I was thinking Sting. Although we're not talking about the Scorpions there. We are talking about Hornet's Nest, which fantastic course. I don't recall off the top of my head who won. I only watched the first bit of coverage there. It was a ton of fun to see Yuli out there slinging discs, having fun. And there is another video going around of the most unique forms and shots in disc golf. And I gotta say, Jeremy Colling, Big Germ, throwing his pterodactyl shot, that was cool. So if you're watching on the video here, I will show you. I will try to describe this the best I can, paint a mental picture for you, use my words as a glorious little artist here that I am, try to make things look all pretty. So you take it looks like a backhand throw, but instead of coming back across your chest like normal, you reach back on your shoulder blade on the same side. So right-handed thrower, right-hand shoulder blade, and you kind of fling it like that. In the video, he describes that you need to get something understable, something with some less stability. So my current stiletto, the meat hook that it is, would be a terrible choice because apparently it will just dump real fast. So it's actually really cool. He air bounces it. The video's awesome. I can't remember who made it, but I'm sure if you Google it, you shall find it. YouTube it, it will be there. Unique forms in disc golf. It just came out yesterday. See if I can get you guys that link on the Twitters later. Fantastic video. So, back to the U.S. Women's DGC. This event was canceled last year and is being held again this year. There are some travel restrictions. California is still kind of locked down. I think Sacramento is a little more open in terms of California, but California is still one of the more locked down states in the country. So check local regulations on traveling there from certain states and see how that goes. There are 186 total FPO spots open and 186 AM spots open. So, ladies, go ahead, head out there, have fun. They have all the divisions from novice to AM1, obviously FPO, clearly. That's the big draw there, but who knows? Maybe you'll get out there, get to see Paige Pierce, Sarah Holcomb, any one of those other ladies out there slinging discs and having a grand old time. You can register as pretty much any tournament now at Disc Golf Scene. They do a fantastic job. Disc Golf Scene does such a good job. Signing up is so easy. I linked it with my PayPal. I can't disagree with the fact that they are by far the best way to sign up for a tournament. Can't wait. Registrations are starting to open for a few tournaments that I'm looking forward to playing. Some of these tournaments are the Freedom Flight. This is in Ohio at Ohio Northern University, and that is July 3rd. That is a C tier. I've also signed up for the River City Open presented by Discraft. This is the AM weekend. There are 98 people signed up so far, so you can still get into that. This is held in Grand Rapids, Michigan. There will be AM1, FA1, MA1, FA1, MA40, MA50, MA60, MA2, FA2, MA3, and FA3. So not as many, none of the age protected, excuse me, none of the age protected women's divisions, but unfortunately not enough women play to make those divisions feasible. I don't want to say worth it. That's not the right term I want to use. Feasible is a good option. If you've only got one person in your division, that's not a division. That's just playing a casual round, and it's unfortunate. More women need to get into disc golf, and I know there's been a huge push for more women to play in disc golf with some of the people. Jeff, I can't remember his last name. He's finishing out the remainder of Will Schustrick's tenure at the on the board of the PDGA. So that'll be fun. This is held again in Grand Rapids, Michigan. 2-day tournament, playing 2 rounds at Riverside on Saturday, and then the final round at Brewer Gold Tees on Sunday. This will be the first, well, technically, this will be like the 3rd tournament by the time this one comes up that I will be playing AM1. I'm officially moving up to AM1. I feel like I'm ready, but good news is I can switch if I'm not. I get my butt kicked otherwise. I'm also looking at doing the Wabash Cannonball Open 3. This is the 3rd time around. This is a B/C tier. Registration hasn't opened. That is June 12th. And I'm also looking at the Clash at the Canyons 5 presented by Discmania. This is in Lockport, Illinois. This is the AM side of the tournament. There is the pro side of the tournament that I believe is the following weekend. This is in June. It should be a lot of fun in Lockport, Illinois. Close-ish to where I grew up. Finally, I will end the season. I'll have 2 other tournaments outside of that. I'm doing the 2021 Madison County Open. again, has not actually opened yet for registration. And the AM weekend of the Three Rivers Open. This will be the 36th annual BF Goodrich Presents Three Rivers Open in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This is a fantastic tournament. This was actually one of the first tournaments I ever went to that actually got me interested into playing more tournaments and getting me interested into the fantastic trilogy family of plastic. Every company does make great plastic, but that's what I kind of fell in love with right off the bat, and that's what I'm going with. So, Three Rivers Open. This is August 21st, 22nd. It's a Saturday, Sunday. This fills up fast. It is a great time. The players pack is awesome every year. You always get a bunch of stuff. This year, it looks like you will get a tournament stamp disc, a tournament stamp mini, a tournament stamp pint glass. There are 36 CTPs at Sweeney Park, so you're playing Sweeney East and West, two 18-hole courses. You get a free disc if you win your card. So it doesn't matter if you are the bottom card or the chase card. If you win your card, you get an extra free disc. Super exciting. That registration will open up March 15th at 9 a.m. Eastern. You will also play that Sunday at Tillman Park. This is a championship level course. Tillman Park is so much fun. It will kick your butt, but you'll enjoy every second of it, basically. 144 amateurs, 3 rounds, 3 courses. You also have a flex start bring your own doubles partner where you play 9 holes on Sweeney East and 9 holes on Sweeney West. I highly recommend you go out and do that because it is a blast. It is something where I've done that before. I've played it, had a good time, loved it, and yeah, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come out to Fort Wayne, Indiana, play some disc golf. Getting off on tangents, I am in one of those kind of moods today. I am just all over the board here. Just like, I don't know. The ADD is strong with me today, basically. Let's get back to this. Let's get back to that. Let's get on to our next topic. But yes, bringing it all back around, talking about tournaments, got me distracted. We've got, again, U.S. Women's DGC, end of May. Registration is now open. Sign up, have fun, and look forward to everything there. Now, we've got an update from the PDGA. Yes, your profile is now getting an update. They've updated the scorecard and how that works and some stats you can track and find with that. On top of that, the PDGA tech team has been hard at work to allow profile pictures for that. Now, when I read this, I was like, oh, cool, profile pictures. And then I was like, wait a minute, I already have a profile picture. I have a profile picture on tap right there that you can see my ugly mug throwing a forehand. Looks very similar to all my other pictures that I have up here. Again, of this ugly guy throwing a disc. It is what it is. But this picture is now viewable on the PDGA scorecard, so this can kind of help if you have a nice close-up shot or something, a headshot, a professional shot, someone that is a professional. Unlike me, someone like a Ricky Wysocki, Paul Macbeth, Paige Pierce, Sarah Holcomb, anybody, really. Those people are fairly recognizable, so if you don't know who they are, Google is your friend. However, people like me, that nobody really watches, that nobody really cares about, we need pictures to help people go, all right, yeah, this is so-and-so. A lot of times I'm playing tournaments with 3 other guys that I don't know. Now, I played an entire series this last fall, the Northern Indiana Fall Series, and was able to make some friends, but there are a couple times where I was throwing on cards, I'm like, I recognize your face, but I don't remember your name. Fortunately, I was never in charge of a scorecard. Somebody else always wanted to do it, and I was never going to argue with somebody else doing the scorecard for everybody. So I would head over to the PDGA site and add or update your picture now, because that will be the picture people will see when you're using the app. I use that loosely. The live scorecard for any PDGA tournaments going forward. I think it's a great addition. I think it's really going to help out a lot of people, help with some of that confusing going, wait a minute, were you so and so? Were you so and so? I'm trying to remember. A lot of times people like me are bad with names. I do my best, I try to remember, but I'm also just kind of bad with names. And yeah, that's kind of how that goes. But simple, quick PDGA update. There we go. There's your weekly PDGA update. Now, we've got a few more updates. We've got 2 newly approved discs. Nope, I take it back. I can't count. Counting is hard. 3 new discs that we've got here. The first one is the Bowie from Lone Star Molding. This looks like a driver. I couldn't find a lot of details on this one. So it's, again, one of those like driver, fairway driver, hard to tell, didn't have a great picture, but that's okay. I also had a hard time finding their website, their company website, unless they are, and this could very well be true, the only Lone Star Molding that I found specializes in mud pumps. So they could be branching out. Who knows? Couldn't find a great website other than that. The PDGA technical standards, I have those here. It looks, the standards make it look like a fairway driver or distance driver. I don't know what the numbers will be, so no clue if it's going to be stable, overstable, or anything like that. Looking forward to seeing that happen, see what everybody is going to say about this new disc. Hopefully it's a good one. It sounds like they have, looking at the PDGA website, they have 6 or 7 other discs out there. So hopefully they're good. I know nothing about them. Trying to build up my repertoire and learning some of these other discs. We have two discs. This is where I got confused because we got 1 disc from Lone Star Molding, and now we've got 2 discs from Sun Sports, S-U-N-E, Sun Sports. They are located north of Oslo, Norway. So I am probably butchering the hell out of that name. I apologize. But I can say this disc name. This first one is the Cumulus, like the clouds. Ooh, soft, floaty, which makes it perfect to be a putter. This is a 2-3-1-1, and according to the website and the picture, it floats on water. Pretty handy. Now, side note, a disc that floats on water, it's great. However, if you throw it into the middle of a pond, it's still in the middle of the pond. And on a still day, I don't know if you're getting it back. I mean, maybe if the wind's blowing, you could hope that it blows up to one of the sides. But yeah, it's gone. Same thing. All right, I've got a few courses I play here that are along rivers, not just creeks, actual legitimate rivers. What's going to happen? All right, I can now, instead of seeing it hit the water and just sink and never to be seen again, I can watch it float on by and just go, all right, bye. Yep, it's not a Baby Ruth, it's my disc. But this is also super soft plastic, which, if you like super soft plastic, there are some great case uses for super soft. I used to have a classic super soft slammer from Dynamic Discs. This disc was super floppy, super I could just wave it around and it would bend and flop everywhere. I could taco it and it would go back to normal like nothing. It stuck to the ground really well. I did have an almost ace with it on a hard shot where it kind of weaved in and out of some trees. It was a shot I wish I could have said I did on purpose, but it was weaving in and out of the trees just perfect. When it hit the center pole, hit chain, hit center pole, tacoed, and bounced out. I was very, very upset with that. So classic super soft, super soft plastic, I'm not a huge fan of for throwing off the tee like that because of that one negative experience. I will have the link in the description below, but going off of that, we also have the contrail. So you're kind of seeing a theme here with Sun Sports. This is a driver, according to their website, at a 650-2. I would put that at that weird driver, slow fairway driver, fast mid-range, I don't know what to categorize it as. It's kind of difficult, but with that being said, It is also another disc that floats. Um, Again, I'm not a huge fan of the floating, but it's something that can happen. It's something you can get back, hopefully. It is also super soft plastic. Now, my other complaint that I had for the super soft slammer that I had, really hard to say, a lot of a lot of s's. Um, my problem that I had with it was that when I was throwing it, it felt like it was oozing out. That's the best way I could describe it. It doesn't feel like I ever let it go with any snap because it was so flexible, so gummy, so rubbery. It just felt like when I when I threw the disc with any sort of power, it felt like it just oozed out of my hand. Like Ivan Ooze. Go Go Power Rangers. However, if that's something you like, that's great. When I was throwing it with a little less power, it felt fine. I didn't notice any differences. So those are the two discs by Soon Sports, the Contrail and Cumulus. If you're interested in buying them, you will probably pay twice as much just in shipping. It was all the prices were in euros. They were like equivalent to say $18 US shipping from Norway to the US. I can only guess at to how much that costs, and I would say it's probably not worth it. If you're in Europe, probably worth it. However, yeah, they're based. Yeah, like I said, they're based near Oslo, Norway. So if you're ever out in that general direction, check out their store. It's all on their website. And yeah. Next up, we do have one new target approved. This is by Disc. This is the Disc Sport Star from Disc Sport. Yep, make it real simple there. This is a new target. It is portable. The company is based in Alund, Sweden. Alunda, Alunda, Sweden. Again, approved by the PDGA. New target, and not really worth it here in North America or anywhere outside of Europe because, not to discredit them, I'm sure you can find something similar without the extraordinary cost in shipping. I'm not saying that they don't make a good product. I'm saying that paying double or triple what the product costs just because of shipping is absolutely not worth it unless you're some kind of collector. If that's the case, then go for it, I guess. Question mark. I don't know, man. I'm just here, man. Just talking. My throat is getting really dry. This is getting really hard to talk for this long. I'm going on 2 hours of talking nonstop. And when it's just me, this is rough. This is great. So if you are ever interested in guest hosting, not hosting, but being a guest co-host for an episode, hit me up on anchor.fm. Leave me a voice message, maybe, of why you should do this, or Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, email joe@joesdiscgolf.com. Leave me a comment, leave me an email. Maybe we'll include something here. Generally go at 9 a.m. Eastern. Today we are on at 10 a.m. Eastern because of a conflict of scheduling here, because my secretary, some idiot in glasses, dark hair, wearing a Blackhawks polo shirt. For all you podcast listeners, you probably don't understand. That's me. I'm an idiot and didn't look at my schedule and forgot what day Tuesday was. Turns out today is Tuesday. And I made some mistakes. But that's okay. I'm okay. We're doing all right. Before I get too far, I thought I'd go over something special here. A bonus tip. Something that you can use when you're out on the disc golf course, especially right now if you're in a decent chunk of the country where there is a lot of snow. And I already mentioned about packing all of your, or taping some string, some ribbon to the end of your disc, to the underside of your disc, that you can find on YouTube. That will help you find your disc in the snow. However, there are a few other things that you should keep in mind. One, layers. The more layers, the better. because if you start getting too warm, you can take some layers off. If you're wearing just a big heavy coat, one, your range of motion is probably going to be restricted and you're not going to be too happy. Two, if you get too warm, you're kind of SOL. And if you start sweating when it's cold out, like right now, I think the wind chill puts it at right about 0. Or according to WeatherBug, the app on my phone, last night the temperature was -0. Math is good. Math is good. Numbers, yes, -0. Whatever. Other tip besides layers, tuck in your shirt. Sounds dumb. I sound like your mother. Tuck in your shirt, it's cold outside. You don't want to get a draft. Which is exactly true. You actually don't want to get a draft. If you tuck in your shirt, you're less likely to get that draft up your back and be uncomfortable. You get that draft up your back, you're going to be cold, you're going to be miserable, you're going to hate it, you're probably going to get sick. Hand warmers, another one. They're cheap. Go out, get those chemical hand warmers that you can find at Menards or Amazon, eBay, wherever. Get a whole bunch. They all work about the same. Throw them in your gloves. You want some puffy gloves, some bigger gloves, buy a size up, because you want them to get on and off easy. Get them, put them in your gloves, put them on both sides, put them on the palm and the back of your hand. That'll help you warm up a little bit faster. Quick, easy tip there. All about staying warm. Don't forget a hat, sunglasses, all that fun stuff, because snow blindness is a thing. That's with all the extra light reflecting off the snow, going into your eyeballs, and blinding you. Snow blind. Disc golf. Hello, Tessapoo. Welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream here. Congratulations on being the first person to live chat on Twitch. How does it feel? Not to put you on the spot there, but thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully you like disc golf. If not, I'm hoping to get you involved in disc golf, because disc golf is a great, inexpensive sport to play. Well, it's as expensive as you want to make it. I'll put it that way. You can buy a starter set for about $20-$30 and be just fine with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you can spend a lot more on disc golf equipment than just that. A big field, kind of. So the question is, this is also going to be audio podcast. Don't you have to have a big old field and install some nets? Yes and yes, sort of. So you can go out to any park, any big open field, and just practice technique. It's called doing some field work. We really think outside the box when we name things here. Field work, it's crazy. You do need some nets. The term is baskets. A lot of times parks have them. I know in the US there are tons of courses all over. Norway just installed, like, they doubled their courses. So it's crazy. I know the sport is still growing in Australia and other countries like that. So it kind of depends. I know in the US, discgolfscene.com, all one word, is a great way to find courses close to you. You can also download an app. This is on Android and on iPhones. UDisc, spelled disc, D-I-S-C. There's a free version. They have, if you want to use if you want to let it use your GPS, it'll tell you what courses are closest to where you are right this second. There are a bunch of great instructional videos out there. Unfortunately, none of them are mine. I'm working on that. But I highly recommend Danny Lindahl with Dynamic Discs, not because I'm a big fan of Dynamic Discs, but because I think he does the best job with explaining proper technique and how to play disc golf. That's all on YouTube. Hopefully that's not information overload. I appreciate you stopping by. Oh, excuse me, words are hard. I appreciate you stopping by and asking some questions. There is tons of different things that you can look up and kind of get overwhelmed with. I highly recommend a bunch of different companies do this. Dynamic Discs, Innova, I think Discmania, they have starter sets, basically. They are less expensive plastic, so the plastic isn't as durable, but when you're learning, that's okay. because if you're learning, you should not be practicing in the woods. You should be practicing out in an open field, learning some proper technique. Now, the disc I have here, this is a more premium plastic. And the main difference between this and what the starter set is, if I hit a tree with this disc, it is going to be fine. Um, I'm not really going to, it's not going to get beat up. The flight characteristics aren't going to change all that much. Now, if you are throwing some of the less premium plastics, the starter plastics, prime plastic, I think it's star plastic, those kinds of plastic, you hit a couple trees and it will change the flight characteristics a lot, which some people like, and that's fine. Just kind of be aware of that. And I highly recommend getting one of those starter sets. They're usually really inexpensive. Some of them do feel like rubber. I was just talking about another disc that it's called Classic Super Soft, and it feels like when you throw it too hard, it feels like it just oozes out of your hand. Really crazy. But this kind of gets me into my next topic here, where I was going to talk about the stiletto. This is a meat hook. This is a very, very overstable disc. The numbers on this guy are 13, 3, a half, and 5. So when it's done, it is done. It dumps hard. This is a great forehand disc. This is a disc that I love to throw on a forehand. I've got a couple holes out on courses around me where I need to go right hard. Like, it is, some courses it looks like the letter J. This almost looks like the letter U with essentially a Mando and a creek long. What I really like about the stiletto is that I can throw it mostly flat, and I know it's going to turn over and dump hard right. And once it dumps, it doesn't skip. It doesn't really roll that much. Mine will do like a somersault. It'll flip a couple times and then land, maybe curl up right around the basket if I threw it right. That's the key. If I threw it right, it'll curl up around the basket. But that is a big if. It is a very reliable disc. This is something that if I throw it into a 15-mile-an-hour headwind, I know it's going to act like my sheriff, essentially, and I know how to throw this. You can see that it is well worn, well beat in. I was starting to look at a newer one because I'm starting to trust it a little less. This is a disc I've had in my bag for 4 or 5 years, so it is well worn. There's nothing wrong with it. I want to get another stiletto, but they are sold out everywhere, and I am not paying the crazy inflated eBay prices for a new stiletto. Not even a new stiletto, a used stiletto. No, thank you. I'll just wait until Latitude 64 ramps up their production and gets more. And that's a problem you're seeing across the entire sport, is that everybody is running out of discs. Manufacturing has been hugely impacted by COVID. Now, hopefully, things are kind of getting back to a little normal. I was listening to Disc Golf Answer Man. They said they've got 5 shipping containers with discs on its way to Emporia, Kansas, and then to be distributed wherever else. I don't know if they're all going to Emporia, if they go a couple other places, whatever. Either way, there are 5 shipping containers. That is so many discs. And then they've got another couple behind that. So they're trying to catch up. Everybody's trying to play catch up. And right now, trying to get new discs is at a premium. And so I'm going to have to rely on my well-worn stiletto. My friend here, my lovely friend. This is a great disc. It is a meat hook. This is not a beginner-friendly disc. If you're looking for a beginner-friendly disc, I recommend definitely starting with a putter or a mid-range. So I would suggest a Bounty from Dynamic Discs, or putter-wise, I'm a fan of the Judge. If you don't like the bead, it's a little bump on the bottom side of a disc. There's also the West Side Maiden. There is the Warden, an AVR, pretty much all putters. I recommend learning to throw a putter because it will show flaws in your form so much easier when you're learning. You're going to get frustrated. It's going to be something that you need to learn proper technique, and this will definitely help you with proper technique. So that is kind of my little spiel on that. Hopefully that makes sense to people out there. Now, let's go ahead and move on to our headline topic. We have a new number one. Who does number two work for? Number two is now Paul Macbeth. That is the most uncomfortable statement I have made in a long time. Yes, Paul Macbeth, no longer number one. This last ratings update came out and shocked the world. He is number two. Two? Who done what? I can't I don't even know. Paul Macbeth number two. It is crazy. He has dropped. He is no longer number one. 68 consecutive updates. He was number one. 68. Now, sometimes he was tied for number one, which whatever. That is what it is. He is the Tom Brady of disc golf, where like he's the best. He is. Say what you will about Tom Brady. He works harder. He does good stuff. I hate that the Bears don't have Tom Brady, but that is a separate story. We're talking about Paul Macbeth. He was number one since the 2013 update. Since the first update in 2013. So he has been number one for over 7 years. Number one. Who were we talking about back in 2013? It was a toss-up for the number one spot between Nate Doss, Dave Feldberg, Ricky Wysocki, Will Schustrick, Nico LaCastro, and Paul Macbeth. Now, how many of those guys are still in that conversation? I'm not trying to take away from Nate Doss or Dave Feldberg or Nico LaCastro. Those guys are all still really good. Don't get me wrong. But we're talking about and Will Schustrick. I can't forget Will Schustrick. Fantastic players. But then you've got the only two out of that list. The only two from 8 years ago are Ricky Wysocki and Paul Macbeth. Those two. That's it. Those are the two that we are still talking about today. And it is Ricky Wysocki who's number one. Paul Macbeth dropped a point. So not really huge. And I give it another ratings update or two, and those two are back to tied. Maybe they flip-flop again. Who'd be exciting? Who can't wait until the next tournament that those two are playing together. They're going to be on the same card, and it is going to be lights out, a fantastic one, because Paul Macbeth is going to be pissed that he is not number one. Because he's been number one forever. He is Mr. Disc Golf. It is. It's true. Now, Paul Macbeth has been rated number one even when Ricky Wysocki won back-to-back world championships. Yeah, think of that. Think how crazy that has been. This season is going to be crazy exciting. So if you want to read the whole article, it's up on Ultiworld. I will link the article in the description below. Hopefully you all will enjoy that. But my voice is starting to give out right now. This is a bit of a shorter stream today. Only about 40 minutes long. Shorter podcast, only about 40 minutes long. Don't worry, I'll make up the other 20 minutes in commercials. Suckers. I'm just kidding. I love all you guys. You guys are fantastic. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all to the men and women who are watching. According to my stats from Spotify, approximately 1/3 of my audience is female, 1/3 is male, and 1/3 roughly is not specified. So, hey, that's pretty solid. I'm happy to all of you boys and girls out there listening to me ramble on about disc golf. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate all of you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps with people discovering this podcast on YouTube and on Twitch. You can also subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We're everywhere. It is crazy. I'm on Apple, Google, Spotify, Deezer, Stitcher, Overcast, a whole bunch of different ones. Bunch of fun. Don't forget to rate and review. Again, that's how the podcast algorithm helps people find this. So rate and review that. Share it with your friends. Tweet it out. Send them the link. Send them an episode. Have a good old time. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay warm. I know it's been really cold across the country, so be safe out there. Everybody have a great day, and I will see you all next Tuesday. Have a great day.